Hello, Hobby Club, friends and
Hi.
family. Good to see you guys, as always, on a Sunday morning. Zach here, joined by Meg.
Me.
That's Meg. She's there.
That's me.
Today,
A lot of people don't know me.
Today, we want to hang out, and we have some fun things to chat. We're going to chat horror movie franchises, and we're going to chat Stormcast Eternals.
Yes.
We remain not large enough to be on the GW gravy train. You can help us with that by liking and subscribing.
Tell your friends and family and enemies.
Tell everybody to just subscribe. Yeah, we are soon. I think we will soon be there. Until then, we have to buy our stuff like you guys, like chumps. So yesterday we bought all the new. Well, not all the new Stormcast stuff, but a bunch of the new Stormcast stuff. We bought this guy, Tornus, the Redeemed, and we bought the Palladors, which I am excited about. I'm excited about actually this guy maybe more.
Yeah, he looks cool. He's got a cool design.
Yeah, he's
like
cool.
I like the concept going on with him. We'll talk more about it.
One of the things as a hobby channel that also plays games that we've been talking about a lot recently is we have this thing where we took a poll and we asked what army people play, and some people came in and made comments about how they want us to play the armies we're excited about.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
That was very nice.
That was like you know that box you have on a survey where it's like, just give us your comments. That's basically what people did on that stream.
That was a reoccurring.
And they were like, just play what you guys want. We just want to see you have a good time. And I was like, oh,
very sweet. We appreciate
that.
anyone that has that sentiment. Let me be clear. We are going to do that. There's no freaking way I'm playing.
No one's going to force me to play some army that you guys want to see, but that I would hate playing because I would be terrible at it.
There's a case to be made when we talk about play style and all the different reasons a person would play an army. There's a case to be made that I would like the Skaven play style, but I can't. And I like their lore. Do
you like the models?
And I even like the models, but I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to play that army. It's
just not your thing.
It's sort of like, I feel the same way I feel about them as I feel about Tyranids.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the pest.
Oh, I do.
Right, yeah.
I am a pest.
So I'm a pest too, but I don't want to play a pest on air.
And I'm painting Lumineth, but I don't want to play them.
Right.
Like, I'm not really interested in them. But they're fun to paint, actually.
Great. Yeah, that happens. I thought Cities was pretty fun to paint, and I love the Cities lore, but I don't like the play style.
So we don't have like a resident Stormcast person,
well,
right?
It's going to be me.
It's going to be you, but we haven't had somebody that's like, oh, I'm really passionate about Stormcast, and I have all the new models, so we're fleshing it out now.
I'm getting there. I am getting there.
Start playing.
I have to say there are some real. We'll get going here in a minute, but I do have to say that if you're in chat and you want to hype me up on Stormcast, send me an ad. You don't have to super chat. Just send me something. Say, hey Zach, here's something cool about Stormcast. One of the things about in 40K in Space Marines is. There's video games that let you play as a Space Marine, and you get to see how cool a Space Marine is. Right now, even we were hearing from Brett on Wednesday after the stream. We went out to dinner with Brett and Leah, and you can start assembling. I'm just kidding.
Can I? All right.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right.
What are you're assembling Tornus?
I'm assembling Tornus.
Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah, we'll just show him off quick. If you
it?
haven't seen him, again, you could have seen this content
in my face?
You could have seen this content on a bigger, better channel 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, we're sorry.
Now here we are.
Listen, it's the morning after for us, hence the morning after hair and morning after green makeup in Zach's ear. We went out last night and we're a little tired, so we're assembling.
I'm actually pretty good.
Actually, I'm okay too.
Yeah, we didn't drink. We just went out and
But
danced.
assembly is good for this. It's like we're gonna have a chill morning.
Yeah.
We had a night out, we had fun, and we're excited about Stormcast, so we're assembling them, which is cool in its own way.
Yeah, I Brett was saying that he had
I'm gonna break these.
actually, it wasn't Brett. It was Brett was telling us about Chicken, who's a Mandro and a friend of ours that we've met at cons. And Chicken was saying that at some of the things, or some of his coworkers were like getting into 40K because of Space Marine.
Yeah.
Which checks out. As far as Stormcast go, I have to say that they are pretty cool. I love the look of Stormcast. I'm a really big fan of the.
You mean like how they all look the same?
I'm a. Well.
I'm kidding.
They do.
They do.
But also, here's the thing: they have a lot of animals, and you can paint all the
cool.
animals different colors, which we've done, and I really enjoy that. I'm enjoying that about my Deepkin right now as well. So I have to say I do kind of like that about them. Yeah, you get all these different animals. You get dragons. You get these different types of cats and dogs and birds. They have a lot, which is fun. So,
yeah. I really liked painting the little dogs.
They're also starting to change. They are also doing this thing with Stormcast. I've noticed in the most recent release, where they are starting to give the different faction, the different chambers, and even because Palladors aren't Ruination Chamber, but they have fur on their capes. They're starting to give factions some different things. Sorry, not factions.
Models? Units?
Yeah, different units, like different little cute takes. And so, yeah, I think they're cool. I'm wondering how I'll enjoy the play style. But I think what I will say about the play style is that Stormcast are similar to Marines in Warhammer 40,000 in that by they I mean Games Workshop, they know what they're doing. They know this is the poster boy. They know that this should be, or they suspect that most people will play Stormcast at some point in their AOS
Sure,
career.
I mean it comes in the intro box.
Right.
It's on everything.
and I think that
and don't they like directly deal with Sigmar basically? Like
they're his envoys.
So it makes sense.
They are his envoys, right? So I imagine that and what other faction out there? Tell me what other faction out there has so many different like chambers or specific ways. Skaven kind of, they have the different clans. But like Daughters, you could play all snakes or you could play all elves, or you can kind of mix, and you can mix Stormcast too, but they call out the different chambers to say this is the Sacristan chamber. Well, for now, they're the ones that are going to Legends, but they're going to be back, guys. They're going to be back.
Are they?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
I don't know.
This is the Warrior chamber. This is the Extremis chamber, right? They have all these different chambers, and they say, here are the play style that this chamber encourages. Yeah. So, you can't really play, for example, we'll stick with Daughters. You can't really play a tanky Daughters of Cain list.
Oh, okay.
It just doesn't work. They're fragile. They just don't work that way. Likewise, you can't really play a slow and tricksy Nurgle list. Or excuse me, fast.
They are slow.
Fast,
what are you talking
right. You
about?
can't play a fast and tricksy Maggotkin list.
Yeah.
Stormcasts kind of have been set up to let you play any style.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a move Games Workshop has also, like I said, done with Marines and 40K. Because it's the entry point, they want people to be able to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole and say,
experiment with your play style and have an army that will let you do that and feel good about it.
Correct.
Yeah,
and then
makes sense.
You realize...
little gateway drug.
It's a gateway drug. You realize, oh, wow, I really like glass cannons. Then you say, cool, maybe I'll play Daughters or Deepkin or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So, that's where we're at. And, okay, Umi has chimed in. As a fellow Tornus enjoyer, man, I recommend...
for 14 months, Zach.
Yeah, that's great. And Umi, also worth pointing out, is one of our moderators, and we love him for that.
We love him.
Among other things. And we're going to get to see him in the spring, which will be fun.
Yes!
Okay, may I recommend leaving the wings off for painting, especially if you're going to add more wings like I did. We'll actually look at that.
We'll be talking about it. Do you want me to leave the wings off?
You know what?
It looks easy. It literally just pushes into the back.
Then sure. Okay. If it's easy to do, then
it looks, it's not like my Lumineth dude where I regretted not gluing him to the
his wings
saddle.
are exactly almost how I did the Prosecutor wings, the same color, white and yellow like this.
Hey, Larry.
Which is great. I'll probably do that. His pretty similar. Ours will probably look similar to box art, but where he's blue will be red. Cool. Exciting.
Very cool.
Thanks, Umi. We will.
All right, we'll leave them separate.
We airbrush a ton too, Umi. So I'm always down for sub assemblies. These guys are nice. The Palladors are nice because the rider is totally 100% separate from the creature.
That's nice.
Very handy.
Well, you have to practice snapping it in, because if it doesn't snap in easily enough, you start scratching your paint. breaking your models. And
That's very true. That's very
so
true.
just test that.
Very true.
Saray, this is a good point, Saray. I wish the Stormcast had units that represented each realm. Like, why do Shyish Stormcast look like? What do they look like compared to Ghyran or Ulgu? I would like think about that a lot for Soulblight. I bring this up a lot. Like Soulblight, especially the zombies. Like the zombies turn other things into zombies. So we should have zombies that look like all kinds of stuff.
Why are they all just human townspeople?
Right. It'd be cool if they made like weird,
Yeah.
just random. Yeah, but same thing.
Like if your box had like a couple of dwarf
yeah, like
zombies
gross.
and a couple,
yeah.
few
Oh, it'd be
elves.
so cool. This would be so cool if like every zombie box had something different. You didn't know what you're getting. I would love that. I love stuff like that. I don't think everybody does.
Well,
But I would love like a surprise pack of zombies that come with like random models that are zombified from other armies.
it's certainly something cute and interesting that
It's
GW
so cute and they should do it.
that GW could sell like around the holidays.
Yeah.
That would be a really fun idea. I guess
I'm full of them.
honestly, a lot of us are GW fanboys who also love the rip on GW.
I mean,
Can you imagine how many of us would buy if every year they release a box that was like...
I know.
It's like each year it changed. Like it's a
just
Skaven unit.
do it.
It's a
yeah,
Skaven
like you're
unit.
gonna
You
get
don't know
from
what you're
this
getting.
army, but you don't know what it'll be.
Yeah.
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 Like yeah, I agree, Saray. Like they should have different Stormcast Eternals. Like, why not? It's fun.
Yeah. And they, so...
We'll just kit bash it. I'm like, I don't want to kit bash it. Don't make me do it.
And there is precedence for this. Askurgan Trueblades are vampires from Gur.
Okay.
That's like, they're not from Shyish. They're from Gur.
Sure. Oh, sure.
That's why they have anti-monster stuff and like do like monster hunting.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that.
By the way, we're using we're using two types of clippers, if you care to know. But the reason I'm telling you specifically is Rudy, a big supporter of the channel, recently sent us not one, not two, but 3 pairs of single edge clippers. He sent a God Hands, this brand Steady, and then another set that we sent that Saray took home to use at Studio North.
Yeah.
And so we're using those today. So thanks, Rudy, if you're watching. But to do a lot of the initial clips, I'm going to use these Nipex clippers that are a little coarser.
Yeah, I used these because I couldn't get all the way in with the God Hand. I didn't want to break it. I mean, they're supposed to not break, right? But you were telling me don't use just the tip.
They tell you not to use just the tip. That's how you break them, yeah.
Never use just the tip.
Okay, so, yeah, dwarves should have been the underwater faction. No, sorry, they already have diving. I mean, look at your guys. Your guys are pretty much exactly what you're describing. He says, imagine diving suit
How
dwarves.
cute, Saray, you're right.
But he has, I mean, that's...
Yeah, but they don't live underwater.
They live in the sky.
Thing. Yeah.
No, you can't do underwater dwarves and sky dwarves. They could have done one or the other. They have to switch them. One is elves, one is dwarves.
Okay. We saw, so we went out to like a dance club last night for Halloween. It was like the Halloween night in San Jose. Yep. And there was somebody dressed as a deep sea diver. It was the best costume. I loved it. It was like really cool looking. It looked real.
I just want to point out that Meg is, I love her.
What?
She's doing a very mom thing right now by saying we saw a deep sea diver.
Wasn't he a deep sea diver?
I'm quite positive as a BioShock character from the video game BioShock.
I thought he was a deep sea diver. He looked like
that's what it looks like.
I'm not a mom.
But there was like glowing green and stuff on the inside.
We have some dad jokes coming at us in the memes. So
yeah.
It's fine.
So I'm pretty sure it was something from BioShock. But I also
what's a BioShock?
BioShock is a video game. I want to say these guys are going to be able to help us out.
Yeah,
I want to say quasi post-apocalyptic.
Okay, well, there's a deep sea diver in that game, and this guy dressed up as it, and it looked badass. Yeah. So, okay, BioShock. Post-apocalyptic? Okay, I like stuff like that.
I just should have been in the sky with Eastern-style dragons and shit, Saray says. Saray, aren't you supposed to be on vacation?
This is vacation. He gets to just watch and enjoy. If I was on, like, when I was gone for 2 weeks, I would, like, pop in and say hi, because I actually like hanging out.
When Saray comes up with an idea.
I know.
When Saray
you're
comes
like,
up, aren't you on vacation?
Get out of here. Oh, my God. Yeah, I actually enjoy hanging out with people. in our chat.
Yeah, I have been. I think GW.
Nobody's telling us what Bioshock is.
50s, but if they had better science.
Okay. So, is there a deep sea diver?
We had pretty good science in the 50s. I think we had better science in the 50s than we do now.
What? No, it's just never mind. Was there a deep sea diver
in Bioshock? There is. I mean, I've seen like ads for it.
It's funny that I like that you have this like vague knowledge of this stuff enough to just point me out and make a fool of me.
Sorry,
but not to answer the question.
I'm quite positive because of the coloration and the green glow effect he had, he had like going on the inside of his suit.
He just looked like a cool deep sea diver.
I'm pretty sure.
Splicing. Oh my god! Like, what's that movie? That horrible movie.
Splice.
The word splice is so triggering.
because of the movie Splice.
It's so bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a Bioshock costume.
Here we go. All right.
Which is fine. Like I wouldn't expect you to know. You'd have to like.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't expect me to know anything.
You'd have to randomly know like an ad. Remember an ad from a video game.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is that game even... It's Art Deco libertarian Atlantis. With superpowers where everything goes wrong and society collapses.
Well, there you go. We saw a Bioshock guy. And I liked it. Yeah.
It did have Art Deco vibes, right? But I guess a diving suit kind of...
Did it? I don't know. It was just a diving suit. It was an old-timey diving suit.
A diving suit in general is kind of tied to that era and therefore has some degree of that element to it, I guess, as is.
Yeah.
Like if you decorate your house Art Deco and in a corner you had like one of those helmets on something, that would fit. Like you would.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the glue run all the way up the skirt? I'm just gonna let it dry. Oh my gosh. Shoot. I was gonna say something. That happens. I'm a bad host.
Okay.
Guys, we have a poll. Like all of our polls, it's very important. I actually don't know what this poll's about. I haven't read the questions. Zach just made it up.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the poll a little bit. Which of these Alm traditions are you tired of complaining about? Pumpkin spice flavor.
Yeah, we hear about that a lot.
Candy corn. Or changing the clocks. These are three things that... So I'm famous, not at all,
He's
actually.
famous.
Let me stop right there and step that one back. I'm known in this community as complaining about things like there's the burger
like
story.
Hamburger.
We had another one to us happen.
Oh, yes, you should. I want to hear you tell this story.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. You're famous. Let's get your first part out.
Yeah.
You're famous for your hot takes.
I complain about particular things, but I like to think of myself as being on the cutting edge of complaining. I complain about things other people need to think about complaining about. People need to be like, you know what? He's right. We should be complaining about that.
Hold on a second. Look at this head. The way it's so interesting. Like, it's got this like little like the thing neck on it.
Weird.
And you just snap. It's so weird the way you snap it into the center of his chest. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. I just thought that was.
So right, the burger thing. I complained because in the middle of having a hamburger at the airport, a man walked by me and said, "How's the burger? It looks good." And my complaint is that I don't think people should feel emboldened or empowered to walk by complete strangers while they have food in their mouth and be like, "How's your food?" Like, anyway. However, something else I've noticed is that we love to complain about things, and we love to get our complaining ideas from social media. We're like, I don't know what to complain about. I don't have a personality. Let me go on Facebook or Instagram or something and find what I should be complaining about. And so these are the three things people in our generation and younger have decided that you complain about every fall. And it's the first time these things come out, it's often kind of like, oh yeah, that's funny, or oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. But then it's like 10 years later and people are still like, oh, okay guys,
oh man!
Everyone tell all the white girls pumpkin spice flavors coming out.
We left off of this poll is starting Christmas too early. People complain about that.
People
a
do
lot,
complain.
too.
That's
Christmas
another.
songs.
You're right. That's a good one.
That's mine. I can't stand all that stuff.
So these are three things.
Yeah.
Let's go through them real quick. Okay. First one, pumpkin spice flavor. Okay. What I just alluded to there is there's this trend that has historically been a thing. In the past, it's often been more nefarious, where we pick an ethnic group or a race, and we point out that they like a particular food, and we sometimes in the past and historically are horrible about it, and sometimes we're not. Here's the thing: whenever this happens, you name the food, and it's like, yeah, dude, everybody likes that. Are you stupid? Like, what? How's that an insult? Oh, right now, and so in the past, it's felt more racist. It's still racist to say white girls like pumpkin spice. Like, that's racist.
Or to get white girl wasted.
You just have to acknowledge that you accept the concept of positive racism, or that some racism is acceptable. You're still racist, but that's fine. So if you're like,
it's called a stereotype.
Right, yeah. If you're like, oh, they like this. Like, guys, guess what? It's nutmeg, cinnamon, and sugar. Guess what, everybody? Everybody likes those things. Like, yum. Like, it's so weird that we get all like, oh, everything's pumpkin spice flavored. Like, oh no, yummy flavors. Things we've been eating since our childhood, and humans have been eating.
I love how many people are walking into this random rant.
It's so weird to me.
Guys, don't forget to vote.
It's weird to me, one, that we like target people for liking it too much, and then two, are like, complain about for the past 15 years. It's just so bizarre. So pumpkin spice flavor, that's one.
Well, it's tradition now.
You're right.
Got to do it.
Candy corn is the next one. Okay. Yes.
Candy corn is legit disgusting.
So different people, of
but
course.
I'm not complaining about it. I just think it's weird when someone likes it.
Candy corn is one of those things where it falls in this kind of unique pattern of like, you've got I want to say 90% of the population that really doesn't like it at all, right? Mm-hmm. And when you do that, then when you have something that 90% of the population doesn't like, but then probably we'd say 10% of the population loves, you've created something that will now forever be in the market. Because if anything that can sell, I'm guessing we know these numbers out of a hat, but if you're saying 10% of people really love candy corn, then you're going to do fine selling candy corn. Like, if 10% of people really love it, you don't care about the other 90%. Candy corn at its core is like a spun.
Corn.
At its core is like a spun sugar flavor.
At its kernel.
Getting down to the kernel of truth.
I'm not good at these.
Me either. It's a spun sugar flavor. I think it gets its flavor. Like cotton candy gets its flavor from the way the sugar molecule is structured. I want to say candy corn just has a bunch of vanilla extract in it. I'm not sure. I don't think it gets its flavor from how the molecule is structured. Yeah, but for me, we've talked about this. We talked about this a week or so ago with candy corn. If I go to like a Halloween party and someone has some sitting out, ironically or not, I'll like eat 2 pieces of candy corn and I'll be like, cool, I've had my candy corn for the year. Like, I like a little bit of a reminder of the flavor.
I do not. Okay.
But that's kind of about it.
Yeah.
And then whenever someone's like, here's a candy corn flavored thing, it doesn't usually taste particularly candy. There's an element of candy corn that I think you can only really accomplish with eating the whole candy corn. Like, I've had candy corn flavor Oreo cookies, and they just tasted very vanilla-y to me.
Sorry, Polly. But actually, everybody deals with the time change, right? I mean, the UK just had theirs. We're next week. Don't you guys have one? I don't know. I don't know how every country works.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk now about. See, Devin loves candy corn. Yeah, I think candy corn is totally fine.
Yeah, Arizona doesn't.
Yeah, Arizona and like Indiana or something.
Cake soups. Yeah, exactly. Quiet, Polly.
Cinnamon drinks as well. Yeah, right. Like, okay. So then the last one is changing the clocks. Okay, this one was like, this was one of the first times when you're younger, you're like, cool, my generation's so cool. And then you hit this point where you're like, actually, my generation's kind of dumb. Complaining about daylight savings time is the first time. It was that and Columbus Day were when I realized our generation needs
I think Columbus Day is fair.
But like nobody cares about Columbus Day. Like nobody does anything for it. Like it doesn't do anything.
I'm sure indigenous people care about the fact that we're celebrating like this dude. I get it. Like maybe
Okay,
maybe
all right.
not.
All
I
right.
mean, but it's like
It's a little like
who cares?
saying,
I'd rather celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day than Columbus Day.
I think
I don't
we're-
have a problem with that.
I'm
one.
fine. I'm super fine with that too.
Just like we now have Juneteenth. Like these are important moments.
Same.
That need to be
I'm very
celebrated
fine with
and-
these things and think like it doesn't. I'm fine with it. But Columbus
Anyway,
Day had gone
Columbus Day used to be a day off. Now it's nothing.
it had gone to a point where it was like nobody did anything for any.
for
I had a
me,
college
anyway.
professor one time. He was like, "Well, you guys have off in Pennsylvania. We had off on Columbus Day," and he was like, "I hope everyone goes out and enjoys and celebrates Columbus Day." And we all like laugh. Like nobody does anything. Like it's not a thing.
No, it's
like
just a day off.
right.
You have a little bit of freedom.
Right. So it's anyway. But
Not like those Indigenous people.
I would say.
Not free.
I
From
would
their-
say though that like making a speculation
Diseases.
that indigenous people as like a whole are
yes.
that this is like a hill that they're dying on or thinking about.
Nobody's dying
It's
on
a
it.
little
You're
like-
dying on it right now.
It's a little like saying HBO executives got how kids act right when they made Euphoria. I don't think they know. It's meaning I don't think
I'm sorry.
we know. If
I kind of miss, like, where are we going with this?
my point is that
I lost track.
Columbus Day is not really wasn't really worth complaining about or like.
Oh, I disagree. Okay,
Every year,
I disagree with that one.
Every time he comes around, we all get fired up. Oh my god!
I don't think nobody gets fired up.
And then Columbus Day. Well, this used to happen on social media, and then Columbus Day ended, and then we stopped talking about it. Same thing happens with the
Look
clocks.
at the camera when you're saying all this
Same thing
nonsense.
happens with the clocks. It's like, no, I'm glad Columbus Day is now Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm totally
Sure.
fine with that, right?
Sure.
What I'm saying is, it's manufactured outrage. And I don't think that's a way to solve problems, right?
No.
So for Columbus Day is a little more serious. For changing the clocks, a little less serious.
I'm just tired of changing the clocks. Like, can we just...
Why? You don't do anything.
You
None
lose
of
an
it's-
hour of sleep once a year. I hate that. I like the
It's
extra
wild.
sleep.
It's wild to
It's like
imagine.
annoying. It's just like, why do we do this?
We've delineated.
That's kind of how I feel. It's not a thing for me, like a hill to die on, but I'm like, why? Do we need this?
It's so bizarre.
cares?
It's so bizarre to me. And the funny thing about it is there's reasons why it did happen, and there's reasons why it still happens,
Right.
and they're not the same, really,
Sure.
right?
Right. Like, we don't need it
No,
anymore.
no.
Do we?
Well, yeah. So
Oh, boy. Anyways, that's our poll, you guys.
anyway, that's our poll. All of this is
Yes.
very insane, and the point is that please vote in the poll.
Okay.
Chris, thanks for the gifted membership.
Zach is a millennial.
Rudy, thanks for
be-
5
believe
gifted
it
memberships.
or
We
not.
appreciate
Yes,
your support.
thank
We are
you for the
using
party
clippers.
lights.
We're using clippers if you missed that earlier.
Oh,
Rudy.
yeah. Let me swap to them. Now I can actually get at things.
Yeah. And carefully, we're using them, not clipping on the edge. Never stop edging.
Except when you're using God hands.
Okay. Glad to see tools such as the clippers are useful to the team. What Stormcast Eternals do you find interesting? And are you considering adding any of to your army, and why? This is a great question. Thanks, Rudy. And thank you for the support and the super chat. As always, it's very appreciated. I would
That's
say
very topical for what we're doing today.
it is very topical. Thanks for bringing us back on topic. I personally do find, I personally
I
do,
love chat.
I personally do find the Reclusians, which these guys aren't Reclusians, but Meg is. I think they're pretty cool.
Wait, this is Tornus.
Yeah, his chamber is Reclusian.
Okay.
Yeah. They're the new ones that came out for 4th edition.
Okay.
I do
Yeah.
find the Reclusians cool. 4. Okay. Just checking where I'm at. here.
Last night when I was talking, we have to do memes soon, the news.
Okay.
Talking to Zach about like, oh, I just love doing the channel with you and you're very important, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you bring a lot of character. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, your hot takes. They're crazy.
Guys, these aren't hot takes.
Did you read chat? Nobody agrees with you
About what?
about Columbus Day.
Dude, They do agree with me about Columbus Day.
But like, we
what
need
they are,
it.
what they are, what
We
they are
need this
choosing
kind of
to do,
insanity.
what they are choosing to do, and Polly is leading this little merry band of misfits. What they're choosing to do.
You mean chat?
Polly's instigating.
Polly's the leader of
Get him
cat.
out here. Okay. Okay, look at him. I'm a programmer. Daylight's actively hurt my work. All right. What I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that the idea that Columbus Day, okay, coupling indigenous peoples, I understand that there's like a rah-rah, must be a winner loser mentality we have in our country of like, not only is it no longer Columbus Day, it's now Indigenous Peoples Day. We got him. We really got Columbus. Like, it doesn't matter. He doesn't care. He's not alive. 2, nobody cares. No, I mean, like, very few people. They're like, The Sopranos had an episode where, I'm Italian American. The Sopranos had an episode where some Italian Americans in Jersey got mad because I'm telling you, there's a very small minority of people that actively care at all about Columbus Day, or ever did. I don't know why it got.
Sorry.
I'm suggesting. I don't know why
I
don't even know why Indigenous Peoples Day is like give them their own day. Like, just they should have their own day. And there's probably a day that many different tribal populations maybe could agree upon that is more significant than the second Monday in October, right? Which probably has no significance. I'm just saying, like, yes, of course they should have a day. They should have government support. They should have way more than they currently have. Why is it coupled with Columbus Day? Oh, here's why. Some moron on Facebook in 2008 started making a big deal about it. That's why. It's unrelated. That's my point.
Okay.
With Columbus Day. And Columbus Day doesn't matter. So it's selective outrage, which I'm doing right now. I'm doing outrage over the outrage.
Yeah, you're doing one of those YouTube videos where you're reacting to the reaction of the outrage.
My point stands, and my point is that chat does agree with me.
He's Italian, so he can say these things. I
can say I don't care about Christopher Columbus.
I guess. Oh my God. And nobody does. That's not true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we should talk memes.
Let's chat memes.
And we should do some super chats too, because you kind of got a lot.
Yeah. Well.
But whatever order.
Rudy, in all seriousness.
Yeah, sorry, Rudy. We were trying to answer your question, right? What do we find interesting? We find these interesting.
Yeah, I think a lot of the new stuff's cool. I'll tell you that they have this kind of poster boy mentality where right out of the gate you're not necessarily sure that you want to be into them. You're kind of like, they're kind of like vanilla, whatever. But I do think they're pretty cool. Actually, I love the looks of them.
And they're easy to paint.
Rudy, one of my favorite units that I need to add, we don't have them yet, I need to pick up a box, is they're called the Vigilors, the guys that have a bow and a sword. They are super cool. Like, I love the idea of like this long bow and also the sword. And they're one of the less good close combat units, but that makes sense because they're also a missile unit. They're a shooting unit. So they're super cool. We don't have Stormstrike. I'm not ready to tackle Stormstrike yet. Stormstrike Meg are the Dragon Riders. Yeah.
Yeah. See, all the things that are interesting to me are like the animal things. Like we have the dragon. What is it named again?
Stardrake.
Stardrake. We have that ready to go.
He's about ready to get. He's about to hit the painting table this week, probably. Actually, I need to interrupt my deep.
I mean, it interests me for different reasons. Like gameplay, fine. I don't know anything about that, but I mean, I want to paint a dragon. That's kind of cool. I like painting dragons, as you guys know.
I mean, I think. I
just like dragons.
No, I honestly think that's one of the coolest things about Stormcast is that if you are like, and you know, we kind of talked about this, Meg, when you were picking an army, you wanted to pick an army that had a lot of animals in it, and right out of the gate, when you think about that, what comes to mind? And for a lot of people, I don't think Stormcast comes to mind.
Oh yeah.
But they do. They don't have any real animals. All their animals are magical creatures from Azir.
Right? I didn't pick them because they're covered in crap. You know, they have a lot of like armor.
They're not naturalistic animals. They're all fantastical animals covered in armor.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, I don't want to paint the armor.
As opposed to the Soulblight, which you were able to paint just like 40 wolves and bats and stuff, and you like zombies.
Have stuff all over them.
And you do just like horror genre maybe more than you like.
Yeah, I like doing gross stuff.
Because let's be honest, Stormcast have kind of like it's like
I did like my Seraphon.
It's pretty much like Marvel. It's pretty much a Marvel movie.
Oh shoot.
So Rudy, to answer your question, a lot of the stuff, Vigilers, I think are cool. Anything from the Extremis chapter, which are all the cavalry and the Storm Drakes and stuff, are super cool. Vanguard chapter or Vanguard chamber is super cool. Those are the crossbow guys. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's just a lot of it. The chariot's cool.
No, I didn't cut out the wrong thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
I don't think coolness lore-wise is necessarily the problem for me. Like I said, I think it's a little bit more playstyle, but I'm fine to play a playstyle that is not my favorite. I like doing that every now and then, so no real complaints.
I don't even know if Soulblight are a playstyle I like.
Oh, yeah? Why not?
Because they don't hit very hard.
Oh, you realize you like
I really like
damage?
punching, yeah. It's great.
Yeah. Death armies are not known for
Being very strong.
Damage output is probably, they're probably the lowest on damage output.
Thanks, Tactile Sun, for your super chat. Zach, they do agree with me. They're just too stupid to realize it. Don't talk that way about chat.
That's
Zach.
not what I mean, but thank you, Tactile Sun. I mean, I'm not saying Columbus Day is good, or like I care about Columbus, or that I don't think what happened sucked, right? Like those are all true things.
Wait, we're still. Go ahead.
Those are all true things. I'm just saying, like, I guess, like, did we solve the problem of Columbus Day?
Zach.
Was that an actual world problem that we needed to solve? Sure.
Can we talk about memes?
I'm responding to super chats.
Yeah, I know, but I think
What the?
I think he's heard enough about Columbus.
Well, he super chatted about it, so I'm giving him an answer. No more answers to super chats, everybody.
What's wrong with you?
You super chat, you get what you get.
Okay, I'll just be quiet the rest of the stream and let you do your rant, and we'll not do anything else.
Yeah, I'm gonna rant about.
Please just keep
Columbus
ranting.
Day
Everybody wants that.
for the next hour.
I'm
and
the
20
villain.
minutes.
I'm always shutting down conversations that people want to have. It's true. I'm the worst.
Next, Larry, member for 14 months, Lab Manager,
Thanks,
which
Larry.
we actually very much support.
Yeah.
So he says,
We support you becoming a mandrel.
we appreciate the support. He says, "Get him, Z," and I think he's referring to me. I think
he's on Team Zach.
He's on Team Zach.
Team Christopher Columbus whining.
No, it's not what's happening. Anyway, okay. Somebody's.
Can we do memes? Are we gonna do
Yes,
memes?
let's do memes. Jesus. Okay, here are the memes. All right, first off, this one, it was pretty funny. I
like
really,
the interaction, the
Yeah.
dad joke,
Yeah,
jokiness
Soups
of it all.
Soups is pretty good. This was one of my favorite Soups.
I'm like, Soups would make a good dad. He knows how to make dad jokes.
This is a good Soups
all it
meme. No, this one above from the internet somewhere. No Ultramarines. And no bikes. Of course, it really means no horses and no bikes.
Do people not like Ultramarines?
No, I think the
just
Ultramarine
wondering.
symbol is that horseshoe.
I know that.
Yeah.
I got that. I got the joke. I did get it. I was just wondering if people don't like Ultramarines.
Oh.
That's not true, right? A lot of people play them.
I
Or are they too poster boy-y?
I think people. I think they are known to be a poster boy chapter.
Yeah.
Of the poster boy faction. So they're basically the ultimate poster boys in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. However, I think people like them. I don't know. Like, the reality is, on the tabletop, you actually don't see a ton of people playing Ultramarines.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Not really.
Got it.
I don't know. Do you guys? I honestly, I feel like I see more Blood Angels.
Tell me about it. Everyone's doing blooding. When we get to fan stuff, I think there's quite a bit.
More Blood Angels.
That's just because they had a new release? Or is it because people actually
I think
like
Blood Angels have
Blood
always been kind of
Angels?
popular. I feel like Blood Angels.
Why? Why are they so
Space Wolves,
popular? Party lights. Why are they so popular? Do you know?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
People think they're cool.
Whatever.
Which I appreciate.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to go into how I hate Ultra, how I might have a different opinion. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Chad with the Columbus
Well,
thing.
speaking of which,
Okay.
that's all Soups does with his life, and then he
yeah.
made a meme about it.
Oh, look, more angry red boys. Yeah, more Ultramarines.
That's
more.
That's what Soups does. He paints
Blood
red
Angel,
boys.
Blood
Yeah.
Angel. Well, he's been painting Death Company, which are black. Although
Aren't
they are still Blood
part
Angels.
of Blood Angel?
They are.
Okay, yeah.
And
then there was one that
an
he was
apothecary.
gonna paint that's supposed to be white or something, and he's like, "But I'm gonna paint it red anyway." So, that's Soups for you.
No, he painted a white apothecary.
Okay, well,
So,
there's
yeah.
something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I kill dogs. That's a thing I do.
Is this from
that's in my
Twilight?
lore.
What
Yeah,
is
this is it's Twilight. She's like, is this her boyfriend or something? I don't remember. Like, there's some werewolf guy that's into her.
Yeah,
right.
Team Edward.
And then there's the vampire, and like, she just
Some werewolf
pets her boyfriend.
This girl doesn't know the first thing about Twilight.
It's true. So that's that.
also
Go ahead
don't.
and
I
hit
also
the next one. We saw the third one randomly, and it was terrible. And then of course it morphed into Soups's original form.
meme. This is
His original
deep lore,
form.
Deep lore
Yeah.
here. Deep lore.
Yeah, so I'm killing Soups because Soups is a dog in his picture.
Checks out.
It checks out. That's what I do. I kill dogs. Cool. That's the news for this week.
That's the news. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry we didn't get to the news sooner.
Yeah. Go ahead. Get back to what you were saying.
Screaming.
Thank you, Liberty Fires, for the membership.
Thoughts
and the
about
party lot.
Polychrome says thoughts about Washington game football team. Yeah, I was going to get to the Liberty Fires. I will get. Yes. Yeah.
I really enjoyed like the fallout from that. It was really funny.
Really
like
ridiculous.
everybody was having a good time making fun of them. It's like, just change your name. Like, it won't kill you.
Polly, you need.
Nobody's okay with his name. Just,
yeah.
the owner was a real douchebag.
He was
I
super.
remember, yeah.
Yeah, Polly. Gotta dip into a hobby hang sometime. We haven't seen you in there in a bit. We talked about this not long ago with Liberty. I think was chatting with us about it, and we were saying that like it's sort of interesting. There's an American college football team called out of Florida State University, the Florida State Seminoles, who are named after a tribe that resided in Florida, and they've been really cool with, being called the Seminoles, and it's been an actual Seminole man comes in as their mascot and rides around on a horse and like does cool like Seminole cultural stuff. It's kind of cool. And so there's a way to do it right, and then there's a way to do it wrong, which is call the team the Redskins.
Yeah, that's probably the wrong move.
I think there's it's like a spectrum. On one side you have how
there's appreciation,
how Florida State did it.
Yeah, and then there's
and then the other side you have Redskins.
ridiculing.
Somewhere in the middle you have like Braves and Indians.
The Cleveland Indians,
Cleveland
right?
Indians,
Their little mascot is kind of gross.
I mean, the mascot's adorable,
but
also offensive, right?
Yeah,
arguably. So, I think the whole situation with the football team in Washington was really stupid. Like Meg said, the owner was such a twat about it.
Yeah, he was.
And it was all purely centered around.
No one can tell me what to do.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Because all of his marketing team, everybody was like, this is a win-win.
Like, just do it.
This is a win-win. They're like, we can do this. We can remarket. We can rebrand.
But what I enjoyed about the whole thing, like, whatever. It was gross. But was the fun people had with it. Like, South Park did a really nice episode where they took the logo, and I forget what they put it on. They like, bought, since you couldn't, you weren't allowed to have that. He lost
the copyright.
And so anybody could like do whatever they wanted with it, and South Park had some fun with it, at their expense, which I love.
It was amazing. Thank you, Liberty. Yes, we do super appreciate this, and Liberty actually probably knows more about this story than anybody about all the stuff that happened. But yeah, it was a thing. What about the Seminole chop and the Brave chop? Yeah, I don't know. Are those they do like a thing, like motion?
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I don't super know. I know the Braves do, and I know the Braves, remember in the 90s, had like the little...
Nope.
Liberty will remember.
Yeah, but
had like the little, they sold like the little axe, the little, especially when the Braves are doing well. I remember that was like everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. And listen, it's not really up to me at all to decide if this is this is not okay. It's up to Seminole Indians. And my understanding has always been, like, without reading a lot about it, that there's a degree of like working together to have this be their mascot. But I honestly don't know if it's been kept up or.
Guardians, okay.
Also, I heard that when I was at LSU, so who knows?
Tomahawk, yeah. There's a word for that. Tomahawk.
Tomahawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sold the little like. Oh shoot.
Okay, so they're Guardians. Yeah, I missed that. I haven't followed baseball, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, Rudy, Jesus, thank you. I really appreciate that. Oh,
that's sweet.
Yes, Vigilers. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, Vigilers are exciting. I'm excited to get those on the table. Thank you, Rudy. As always, we appreciate your support. Actually, I didn't know. I forgot that the Cleveland Indians got their name changed.
Yeah, I missed that. What's with the Blueberry Boy?
Like you, I've not been Vigilers. I think they're good.
Oh, okay.
I think they're good. They if they shoot something in the shooting phase and hit it, the rest of your every other Stormcast gets like +1 to hit it in the combat phase.
I never remember that.
They basically have marker lights, which is
Tau. I remember those.
I
hate those.
Which has got to be frustrating for Saray to hear.
God.
That has a shooting army that has no marker light. Yep.
Wait, what is this? What's going on here?
Triggered your marker light recall memory, Mike?
Okay, no chest. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very triggered. Oh, cool, another one.
Another what? Oh, marker light?
Like another horrible thing I have to deal with. Yeah.
Well, marker lights were at one point when we were playing, they were kind of crazy. They did a lot of. They could do different things and yeah.
Wait, is this going in the back? I'm gonna build this thing backwards.
Please don't.
I'm trying not to. Please don't. Gosh, okay, no, I have it right.
I desperately just want this thing built correctly.
It's fine. Everything's
all
fine.
I'm asking for.
Do you remember when what did I build backwards? It was the skeletons, right? Their arms were swapped, so they were kind of like this.
I can't remember. I've built some stuff backwards before.
It was you. That's right. You're like, why won't this fit? And you were like, oh.
Or upside down.
It's upside down.
It was part of a Chaos Space Marine.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Soups, yeah, very true. We all remember.
Yeah, that's right. We need a new April Fool's prank figured out. We've got to start thinking about it now.
A new April Fool's prank?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do have a segment today. We actually have a whole big thing, and we should get in on it because it's gonna
big thing.
It's gonna take a while, I think.
Sure.
So we should jump in. Are you ready to jump in?
Yeah, I like our segment.
Sometimes we like to have fun, and
sometimes
one of the things that's
usually
not fun
we're just ranting
is watching two people just put together Stormcast Eternals.
Yeah, it's not very fun.
Not fun. So
especially
instead,
when you're not using the shoulder cam very much.
And so instead, the stream deck's right here, so anyone can press it.
Instead, you didn't like me pressing it.
No, the stream deck's okay.
Oh, okay.
Not the computer.
Okay,
here we go. Let's see the bit. Yeah, Polychrome, you ready? You ready for our bit?
Let's see the bit.
All right, here's the bit.
We want to talk
about and then
it's
rank
spooky season.
Horror movie franchises unrelated to Stormcast Eternals. Stormtober.
Is that what this is?
Unrelated. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through and we're gonna chat these and then we're gonna rank them.
Yeah, why not? We like judging.
Okay, right out of the gate. Nightmare on Elm Street. We saw Freddy Krueger. We saw Freddy Krueger last night. He looked pretty good. He looked pretty good.
He did look really good. Yeah. The franchise. So, what do we think about the franchise?
Mm-hmm. So wait.
I haven't
I'm sorry.
seen very many of these.
We should Liberty Fires this and talk about some specific criteria we want to kind of chat. For example, who's the anchor, right? In this case, it's Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, how good of an anchor is he?
Do we like the anchor and then
The concept?
the concepts
maybe of
and,
like
yeah.
what they like what their motivation is, I guess. But that's part of the character. I don't know.
Then I think there's
what
something.
else?
Then I think there's something really
Okay.
important that needs to happen, which is
Cinematography.
not the. That would be if we were just judging one movie. Talk about the cinematography. I think what we need to do is kind of say
Yeah.
how good is the original, and then how
What do they do to it?
what happens after.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna come right out of the gate and I'll say how I feel about Freddy. Freddy Krueger's annoying. That's
He is
sort of
like he's kind of dumb.
We're gonna get to him a little bit later. Like Chucky, one of Freddy Krueger's one of his things in the 80s. There were two types of guys that murdered you: the silent type,
the strong silent.
the
type.
strong silent type, and Jason Voorhees, and who's the Halloween guy?
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And then the annoying won't shut his mouth type, and that's Freddy and Chucky. So
Well, I like that about Chucky.
these are the two types you kind of got in the 80s. Like either way, you know, they were it was dialed up to 11. So
Sure.
Freddy's annoying. The concept's kind of neat. I think the concept.
I think the concept is cool.
the concept's very original. Like he.
A YouTube user, I agree.
Least problematic dude to wear a fedora. The
guy says I look really good in it.
Yeah. He's the only one, the guy at the store said, I'm the only one that's ever pulled it off.
Okay, sorry.
So,
I think you should leave.
yeah, and then I don't think the original Nightmare on Elm Street is that strong.
It's got Johnny Depp in it.
Such that
A
when
young
I watch
Johnny Depp.
future Nightmare on Elm Street, of which I think I've only seen one or two, plus like
Yeah.
the reboot, I'm kind of like, okay, it's all kind of
Yeah,
there.
it's fine. Yeah, he's okay. I
Yeah.
don't have any major like strong feelings about him. I watched the first or one of them. I don't know which sequel it was. I remember him like stretching through a box or window or something at my grandma's house, and I was like, oh, I'm not allowed to watch this. And she's like, oh, it's fine. This is stupid. She's like, this isn't anything. It's just stupid.
Right.
Like, it's kind of interesting.
Completely unaware of how a child could have a nightmare.
Right.
basically, yeah.
Like it's not sex, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have middling thoughts on this franchise.
I want to come back to what Soups is saying, because I think him and I even talked about this maybe while he was out, but Soups saying the reboot is not the same.
Soups likes Freddy, I
The
think.
growing camp was what made the series fun, and it just did away with all that. That is in general, I've said this a lot. I've said it, I think, on stream before, is that reboots, including the Chucky reboot with Aubrey Plaza was like this as well, and the Hellraiser reboot. Reboots, they are chilling out on all the camp, chilling out on all the character stereotypes, chilling out on everything, and trying to make them very serious, which I kind of like, but it does.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple more in here that are like that I think have done it well.
Yeah.
I don't again. I didn't really watch much of the new Freddy stuff because I'm not into Freddy that much. Halloween. I saw a lot of Halloweens actually.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Halloween?
It's fine. I think it was really cool for the time. It was super new and kind of genre defining, the slasher film concept. And I love John Carpenter, right? Jamie Lee Curtis is great. But I felt like it didn't need sequels. I mean, most of these don't need sequels, right? That's a stupid comment.
No, it's not. I know what you
but
mean,
he's
though.
like supposed
it's not
to be
stupid. It's just
he's
like
supposed to be a real guy. And they keep killing him and he keeps coming back. So like it gets kind of out there, like supernatural suddenly. I really like the reboot, the Rob Zombie reboot. I thought he did a good job with it. It was cool.
Larry mentioned that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I do love that. The one I saw in theaters that was like my high school movie, my high school Halloween, was H2O.
I remember that. I remember H2O.
That was okay.
Yeah. It was okay.
Yeah.
It
was cool that they brought back Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, I find...
And they've done it again since, and I think she might be gone now.
They've done
from the series.
They've done an okay job with with the follow-ups. Again, sort of like Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't think I was ever too attached to the originals. Although I know people acknowledge that they were pretty good and like them, so I accept that, of course. But I don't like this style of villain at
Slasher?
all. I don't like slashers at all.
I forgot to add one. You guys are going to be so mad at me.
I know which one you forgot.
I totally forgot. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
But yeah, I'm not into slashers either.
You and I are not into slashers. And as far as supernatural slashers go, I'm almost like, wow, you had the ability to be supernatural, and you've chosen adult with a knife.
Adult.
And so I'm kind of like, I just don't get the dolt thing. Here's a moron that waddles around and manages to do a lot of damage. I've never quite got it.
We'll get to that, Soups.
Yeah, never really been my thing. So, however, I do acknowledge that I've seen a lot of these movies, and I've never felt super like they were bad. Like, I think they did okay with the sequels and stuff.
Yeah, Halloween, I'll say Halloween just doesn't excite me.
Doesn't excite me.
Yeah,
either.
it's fine. I'll throw it on because it's Halloween month and we'll watch whatever. But I'm like, okay. It's usually like, okay.
Okay, moving on. We've got Insidious.
Insidious.
This one you
really like Insidious.
We have some issues with this one.
But I thought you really liked it.
So the very first Insidious is
Rose Byrne, Patrick Wilson.
You gotta love a Patrick Wilson horror movie.
I love
Patrick Wilson. Okay, the very first Insidious. So a little bit of spoilers here. Heads up.
Yeah,
obviously.
I mean we're talking movies.
The very first Insidious, for the first 2/3 of it, is on track to be like
it's good.
Hereditary level.
Super creepy.
Of scary. A lot of people don't know this. The guy who plays the lipstick face demon, they call him, is actually the composer of the film.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it doesn't have any speaking parts or anything, but is a weird looking dude. And he plays this creepy demon guy.
I forgot another one. Okay,
And
sorry.
Insidious the original Insidious is great
good, yeah.
for the first 2/3.
It does that third act thing. It falls apart.
Absolutely
it gets
falls.
too explaining.
Absolutely falls apart in the third.
Yeah.
Act. To a point where at one point Patrick Wilson, Megan's favorite band, Typo Negative. I always point out that there's a guy who looks like Peter Steele.
I know.
And I'm like, there's this fist.
I was like,
Patrick Patrick Wilson goes into the other realm and is having a fist fight with like this Peter Steele.
Yeah, it's like,
demon.
oh, this is a fist
what
fight.
What is happening?
That's happening. That's so weird. But
I
what's
think,
cool about this franchise is it has a lot of spin-offs. It has a lot. The Nun is from Insidious. It's like that painting that kind of jumps out, right? Not the Nun. Sorry. Is it a painting?
I know what you're talking about.
I forget
Oculus?
where the I'm thinking Oculus. Sorry. Okay. The Nun, I forget how she's involved in Insidious, but she is involved. Like she's a spin-off character. And also Annabelle. No.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm confusing this with The Conjuring, which is another.
We're gonna get to it.
We'll get to that. Sorry, that's the other Patrick Wilson one. My bad.
I didn't think Insidious had spin-offs, but it does have a few sequels.
It goes it tells the story. Yeah.
The second Insidious does almost the same thing.
Yeah, it's one of these like, oh cool, the sequel's a copy of the first one.
No, sorry. The second Insidious, again, the first 2/3 are pretty spooky. Like
yeah.
What this series does really well.
Explainy. I'm like mixing
the other movie that did this too, that had this vibe. I think this was like a post-Grudge, post-Ring thing to do.
Yeah.
And that the terror, the freakiness, and the scary stuff was really dialed in. Unborn does this too. Its first 2 acts are like, there's the dog with the upside down head.
Yeah.
There's like all kinds of creepy, horrifying imagery. The sound design is amazing. But then the writing's just bad. They get to the 3rd act and they're like, okay, who wants to get into a fist fight with a ghost? Like it kind of falls apart. But I mostly like Insidious, and like I said, I've seen a couple of the other, or I've seen the second one at least. Felt about the same. I was like, ooh, scary, and I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Should we go to the next one?
Yeah, let's go to the next one. I'm like, in my head, I'm like kicking myself for like some of the things I forgot to add to this list. I'm so annoyed at myself. Yeah.
Okay, Jason.
I chose the Jason X poster to represent Jason because it's my favorite. It's so dumb. Jason, I think is kind of a dumb villain. I'm like not into Jason.
Not into Jason.
Well, the original, it's not even him, it's his mom. That's the villain.
Yeah, really. I'm not into Jason. Same thing
and
as
he's
Halloween.
just this poor kid who gets drowned, like, and then he comes back as this. I forget why he comes back. I remember like going through all of this.
It feels
Quiet Soups.
It feels a little bit like how like Jason was like Coke introduced a flavor, and then
Halloween came first.
Halloween came first.
Yeah, obviously.
And then Jason was like Pepsi's response, like, oh no, we have vanilla Coke, we have vanilla Pepsi too. Like,
I hate the very inaccurate depiction of camp counseling.
Oh,
not
really,
like that.
not
at
like
all.
that at all.
Zach and I were good camp counselors. We didn't do any of that stuff.
I mean, you never see kids in any of these movies.
Yeah. Yeah, and
to
again,
be
this
fair,
one goes really off the rails. Like Jason goes to hell. Jason comes back from the dead. Yeah,
Jason
and he
takes
goes
Manhattan.
to space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like very silly, which I enjoy. Like this is a series I feel like it's just like, yep, we're campy.
Manhattan,
and that's the series. Like it's silly. It's really silly. I know they did a reboot, but I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Did we see it? We might have seen it and fell asleep because I'm not into Jason.
We're not in.
No, but I am into Jason X. It's terrible.
Jason in space is
like what?
A special.
We haven't done
experience.
Chucky in space yet.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. We don't really have a ton to say about this.
No, I think Jason can be fun because it's campy. Yeah, right. Thanks, Tactile Sun.
There's a scene in Bob's Burgers where
he's just kind of a goofy villain.
Bob's Burgers has some of the best Halloween episodes, as in of any cartoon, adult anime, but also some of the best Bob's Burgers episodes of Halloween.
Yeah.
And
he's like unkillable. Like
there's an episode where Dr. Yap is stealing all the kids' candy because he's a psycho, and Daryl's like, was a goalie in a hockey or a hockey goalie with a knife stole my candy, and Luis is like, you mean Jason? This is kind of funny, like pointing out that certain kids won't know things, because it's like generationally too old. Right. But Luis says Bob, who like shows our old movies, so kind of Okay, Night of the Living Dead.
This is a weird franchise.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, like George Romero wasn't involved in the sequels, most of the sequels. Like they really don't all fall in line with the original universe, I want to say, like the concept. The first one, I mean, it's genre defining. It like redefined what a zombie was, because a zombie like the original zombie movies were like voodoo zombies, which is, that's a big part of that culture. But this was like, no, we're taking that concept and now zombies are just like out to eat you.
Right.
Like they're not your slaves. Like they're their own thing. Mm-hmm. They're like a new animal.
Yeah.
And that's cool. And this also had a lot of like social commentary involved in it, which was cool. There was a black man as lead, which was like really unheard of and wasn't written that way. He was
certainly
just the best actor.
Certainly
so
not
there's things
unheard
about
of,
that
but
that are cool.
Right.
Like
I don't think we can give that credit to this movie.
Well, it's just I'm saying it, but, like historically it has like these cool important beats like in our pop culture.
Yeah.
However, I find the movie kind of boring. It's slow. It's like I watched it too late in life to really truly like love it. It's a little slow. Barbara drives me freaking crazy. I just want to punch her. And it's cool for what it is. It's not my favorite. And the sequels I would say are not strong. Day of the Dead reboot, great.
Oh, the Zack Snyder one?
Love Day of the Dead.
Zack Snyder
Yes,
it's
Zack Snyder.
Really good.
It's so good.
Hard to believe that man later produced the Rebel Moon.
I know. What was he thinking?
Because the Zack Snyder one is quite good. And some of the other ones are okay. I think it spun off in two directions, right? This kind of thing. You had the George Romero ones and the non-George Romero ones. And it had an early reboot. Like who was rebooting in 2002? You know what I mean? Like that's the Zack Snyder one, right?
I don't know. Yeah.
But of course, the original's from what, the late 60s?
Another one. I forgot. God, you guys are so many good horror franchises.
Right.
Sorry, yes. The
late 60s.
And like this came out the same year as 2001 Space Odyssey. It is crazy, like the difference in quality.
Yeah.
Like a budget back then, like would
Well,
produce.
yeah.
It was just like watching it. I was like, this does not seem like it came out this decade.
I mean, oddly, for the next 10 years, science fiction movies until Star Wars struggled to match 2001.
Yeah.
You know.
Anyway. So yeah.
An interesting one for sure. Okay, moving on.
Silence of the
Yeah,
Lambs.
I was a
little
little
unconventional.
I was a little surprised to see this on the list when I came in this morning, if I'm honest, but I appreciated it. I don't consider it a horror movie.
I don't know if I do either, but it was called a horror movie. He won Academy Award, Anthony Hopkins, for Best Acting, and it was like, whoa, like a horror movie won something. So I just figured I'd add it to the list. I like these movies a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the show, but I've heard good things about it.
Oh yeah. Maybe we probably.
I like what they've like. He's a strong character. I think he's a super strong character. He's very interesting.
You know what's very funny? Can I tell you a thought that I don't know what I was doing the other day. I was making coffee or something.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about these movies because we've been watching Manhunter and we keep falling asleep during it.
Yeah,
and Manhunter is the original Red Dragon.
Yeah, but it's not from this franchise. Like it's its own movie, standalone movie. Yeah. It has nothing to do with.
I mean, Hannibal Lecter's in it.
Yeah.
As
but
a
it's not
character.
part of the like.
Jack Crawford. I know what you mean.
It's not like part of the continuous franchise we've had with Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. Right.
I forget who. Hey John, I forget who. Yeah, it's sort of like iffy on whether or not this is a horror movie.
I think.
But anyway, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I think. But I will say, Hannibal. I
love Hannibal.
Hannibal has one big problem that I just realized, and when I started realizing the problem, it kind of ruined it for me. Okay. I was able to ruin it for myself.
Rant
guys.
incoming.
Yeah, rant incoming. So there's this thing that Ray Liotta's character is doing the whole time to Jodie Foster's character, now played by Julianne Moore, and that's where we're going to come back to, by the way, where he keeps making fun of her for being a hillbilly and a redneck and being from West Virginia. Mm-hmm. And as I'm watching this movie, I realize, like, okay, well, actually, Ray Liotta is the one being the hillbilly and the redneck by the way he's acting. And Julianne Moore is portraying Clarice Starling as this woman who is very polished and classy and sophisticated. And then I realized, oh, that's what happened when you drop Jodie Foster when Jodie Foster couldn't do it. It's like, yeah, Julianne Moore kind of ruins Clarice Starling. Because the thing is, Clarice Starling is rough around the edges. That's kind of like Silence of the Lambs. Clarice Starling is who we want. I don't want Julianne Moore plays rich white ladies. Like, that's not Jodie Foster, right? They kind of messed up the character with that casting, and I think there are other people they could have cast instead of her. Yeah, it's just a very big departure from who Clarice Starling is. Like,
well, it's been like, what, 10, 20 years since the original, and people grow.
Yeah, I think
she worked for the FBI. I'm sure she.
Yeah,
you saw her house. It was nice. Like,
yeah,
that's what people do.
It shouldn't have been nice. I think. Yeah, she is a rich white lady in real life, Barry, but that's not who she portrays. And even Jodie Foster in True Detective season 4, that's the Clarice Starling I want, right? That's like what Clarice Starling would be like now, not Julianne Moore. Like,
I mean, she's in the FBI, doesn't she live near DC? Like, it makes sense that you would adapt to your surroundings.
I suppose that there's a case to be made for that.
I mean, look where you grew up.
Sure.
You were a country bumpkin, and
you're
not.
And look at me, I'm sitting on a front porch yelling at the whole world and complaining about everything, just like people do.
What's next on our list? We're halfway through it.
This one's going to be hard to beat.
It is going to be, maybe, because there's questions about if it's even a horror franchise.
Okay.
So, Evil Dead.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
Disagree.
Oh, it's
Right out of the
fun.
gate, right
It's
out of the
so
gate.
campy.
Right out of the gate.
Nah.
Hard.
This is a great campy series, and this Soups. I don't know what your thoughts on are on it. I love the reboot. I think the reboot it doesn't do the campy thing.
No.
It's like gross and scary.
It a little bit.
A little bit.
It keeps
a
enough
very
in it.
little bit.
It has one of the best reboots. I will give it that.
I love the reboot.
I will give it that.
I love how they get really dark with it and nasty. Like the original Evil Dead, the zombie monster possessed things are like saying horrible things to this group of friends. Like totally disgusting, like makes you do like a double take sort of things. And they bring that back in the bring it back in the new ones, and they focus a lot on that. Like the monsters are like really nasty and scary, and I love that. I think that's a cool direction to take. Evil Dead Rises was like that. There's a little camp in it. A few nods to the original, like, and the eyeball like going across the room into her mouth, like goofy stuff. But it's scary. Like the monster in it is very scary, I think, and cruel. I was like, I like that.
Yeah,
You don't like it. Let's hear it.
I think the movie has had a problem in its original opening trilogy of understanding of, like, is it a horror or is it a comedy? And I think that's works in its favor, and I like that about it. But I think also, like, there's scarier movies and there's funnier movies. And so you kind of watch these movies and you're left a little bit like, well, they certainly dialed up the camp. I will say this, other than maybe Jodie Foster, I'm not sure, and Patrick Wilson, we're hitting a top tier of actors that I think Bruce Campbell belongs in. For sure.
I was like, so, what are you going to say about Bruce Campbell?
I love Bruce Campbell. I love Bruce Campbell. He's great.
Oh, man.
It's funny when you watch the original one, you realize that the makers of the movie, I don't know, I'm sure there are a million people, including probably you, a million people who know all of the backstory of these movies, but it feels like they are lucky to have had Bruce Campbell. Like, the original Evil Dead would not have worked without it. Like,
you should send him a fan
they're lucky
letter.
he stayed in the trilogy, because this trilogy is nothing without him. So I'm just not sure. Maybe somebody else they could have done it, but I mean, he kind of makes it. I mean, he has full scenes where he's fighting with himself and trying to choke himself, and
it's funny.
It's funny.
Yeah.
He makes a thing out of it.
I love the chainsaw. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
they're kind of great. They're kind of great. They're kind of goofy. I imagine if I was older, and you came up through the 60s, the 50s even, and what horror was in the 50s and in the 60s. And like the skeleton in House on Haunted Hill or whatever, with the skeleton coming to life and the acid pool and everything. Like, I'm sure, and how stupid horror was in the 50s, I'm sure the Evil Dead hits even harder. Like, it hits better. It hits like, oh yeah,
sure, yeah.
These are dumb movies, huh? And this movie finally is addressing it.
Yeah.
But for us,
Army of Darkness is like,
it's total goofy.
Ridiculous.
It's barely a horror movie, right?
Yeah, it's not anymore at that point.
I guess that's what I'm saying, Meg. I feel like for us, though, we look back and this is the original stupid movie. Like, and
I guess I don't think
you have to remember that
it
was spoofing.
I don't think of the first one as that stupid though. I think it's kind of scary. Like, yeah, I think it's still pretty scary. It's got that tree scene.
Is that the second one?
No, that's the first one.
I think
the first one is scarier, and then they go hard like into the camp after that. Yeah. So anyway.
All right.
I like it.
A good one.
The Purge.
The Purge. Moving up into the modern era a little bit more.
Yeah. See, Paranormal Activity was a franchise I forgot.
Oh.
I know, and we love it.
Well, we love the original.
I know,
and it falls hard.
It falls apart,
hard.
Yeah. But anyway,
briefly,
The Purge is interesting. The Purge is like our nightmare, I feel like. It's a very... I don't know how the rest of the world feels about it, but I'm like, this is what I'm afraid of a lot, like in the United States. I don't think it will ever happen, obviously, but I'm like, this would be terrifying. Like, this would be a nightmare. But yeah, it's like one night a year, this is how the government has chosen to solve crime. You know, one night a year, everyone can do whatever they want. It's a really like scary concept, and the rich have all these like gates, and they can afford like protecting their homes and making like a castle out of it, and the poor stuck out dealing with everything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it explores and throughout the franchise. And some are hit and some are miss, I think. Like, I don't know. I think it's pretty good in general. Like, overall, it's not a bad franchise. Yeah. White medical. Yeah, exactly. Like, can we, go to the bank and delete all their files. Look, we're all, I don't know, back to zero.
Yeah, the Purge
I don't know how things work.
The Purge is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. It has like each each movie has a different focus. Like the first one is like a home invasion movie. And then there's one that's like an origin story. And then
there's election
where they focus on American politics.
Yeah.
I love the guillotine scene in that one. It's so fun. And then there's like a backstory one, or are they in Mexico? I can't remember. I think they go the one we saw at the drive-in. I like how they
that was Saw. We saw Saw where they're in Mexico at the drive-in.
I know, but there's another one where they're on like a ranch. Okay. It's like the Purge is on a ranch.
Oh, okay. Yes,
the first Purge is that anyway. The point is like I like how this franchise has a theme, but every movie has a different focus. So you're not seeing a repeat. The only repeat you're seeing is that everyone like gets murdered because that's the point. But yeah.
I mean, the first Purge is like Ethan Hawke and Lena Headey.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a good cast.
Yeah, it's like good. The first one's very
good. It's very original,
good.
I think.
So the first one's good. Mm-hmm. The second,
I think the rest are okay.
And the concept is good. The concept's very direct. It's very industrial, very stark, very...
Oh, and like the production design is very cool. Mm-hmm. Like they do a lot of cool graphics for like the TV commercials and stuff. Yeah. Like get ready, it's Purge night.
Yeah, they do. I think this is pretty good.
Yeah.
As far as future movies after the original Purge go, they're okay. But yeah. All right. Okay, next. All right. Well, we have a Meg favorite here for sure.
Yeah.
We have a Meg favorite for sure.
I get that it's dumb. Like I'm not gonna put this in S tier. I understand. I like it. That's my opinion. The first look at this cast: Carrie Elwes, Danny Glover, and Monica Potter is so stacked. Like what a cool cast for this movie. Cool idea, totally like new.
Most people don't know who two of those three people are, other than you. But sure, okay, keep going.
Which two, Zach? People here know Carrie Elwes from like Robin Hood Men in Tights. Are you kidding me?
I guess.
And like Princess Bride.
I guess some people know that. I guess some people know who that actor's name is. No.
Okay, so
they know him, but they don't know his name.
Well, anyway,
Same
that's
with Monica
him.
Potter. No one knows who Monica Potter is. Only Danny Glover.
She was very popular in the 90s.
Meg does this all the time. And
I
then,
don't do anything.
Oh my God, you do this
anyway,
all the time.
it was cool. It was a new idea. And it was like gross and gritty. And then the sequels, like, I mean, they're crazy. Like, it's just a bunch of traps, right? And I love that. The traps are fun. Like, how do people come up with this stuff? Right. And I went to a horror convention where we went to a panel and they're talking about it and they're like, as long as they keep making money, we're going to keep making them. And they talked about how the traps are like real. Like they build them in such a way that they're not actually going to hurt anybody, but they're real. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, God, that must be so fun to work on that set. So there's like other reasons why I really enjoy Saw. The franchise is like this, like it's actually low, and then you get like one decent one, right? Like I think Spiral was okay. Like it was a little more of it took itself a little more seriously. So, but I found it kind of boring.
Yeah.
So Soups, this is not the same thing as Jason or Michael Myers. He's dead. He's a real person. He's dead, and the series never walks that back. They just keep telling backstory so that he can keep being in it. It's like, here, he's dead, and we can go on without him because he has henchmen that carry it forward. Or we can tell a backstory with him as the focus.
Imagine,
so,
Yeah.
It works.
It does work. It's kind of funny. Imagine if there's a calendar soups and it was like, oh, Saw 1 took place in 1998 and from March 12th to March 18th. Then like the next Saw took place in 1999 from October. Then they go back and they're like, oh, but in June of 98 he did this. They like keep like going in and filling in like little moments of the guy's life that way.
Yeah. Like, are we sure John would do that? So yeah, it's hard because I want to be like, no, it's great. I love it. It's the best. It's inventive and the traps and blah. But I'm like, is it? I don't know.
In the latest one,
I need you guys to walk me through.
In the latest one, he goes to Mexico for some cancer treatment.
Oh my god!
And
it's so
then
funny.
it's a scam, and so he does some vacation sawing.
That's a new one. Spoiler.
He's on vacation, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna do some sawing.
He's not on vacation. He goes there to get his treatment, and he's like,
he's just like, all right. Well, now this has just become a Saw trip, I guess.
Yeah, I know. He has this like new outlook. This is like before, right? He's still alive, planning on doing more traps, and it's like, I have this new outlook on life. I'm saved from my cancer, and like it like cuts to this like very like thoughtful, and I think there's peaceful music playing, and it's over his shoulder, and he's drawing saw traps in his journal.
He's drawing saw traps.
Like this is how he spends his time.
It's like nice music playing. I was like, is this a comedy?
We were laughing
dying.
so
We were
much.
watching with our friends in the car at a drive-in, and we were dying.
It was so good.
So, okay, but now
sorry. Anyway,
no conversation without Saw is complete without my traditional Saw rant.
Yes, go ahead.
My traditional Saw rant is like the movie Seven, like starting with Boondock Saints, the movie Seven, the music of Tool, and some other music, Stained, Puddle of Mud, all of this stuff. This all falls into what I call, I describe these people as early 2000s, Columbine-inspired fashion,
Like
angry white man.
Incels, early incels.
Early incels, they
I
still...
guess I'm an incel.
Yeah, I hate all of this shit. And the biggest thing, and I know these people now as adults.
I know what you're saying.
As adults, these people are Obama twice, Trump twice people, about to be Trump 3 times people when they vote. And they're all the same, and they're all obsessed with their personal sense of like moral justice. Mm-hmm. That's what all these movies played upon. But same with the music. Tool, Puddle of Mud, all that, System of a Down. It's all like, hey, you know how you think the world should be? We think that too. And here's a movie for just you. And ignores the law, ignores reason.
The arts are kind of for that, right? It's our way to vent. It's like, here's our view on things. And there's so hyperbole ugly. That's going to happen.
It's such an ugly group.
Mentality,
I just hate it. I don't know.
Zach doesn't just ignore that. Yeah, because Zach didn't listen to that music. He doesn't know the difference.
It's just,
no.
Yeah, I hate that.
Nobody thinks Jigsaw is the good guy. Like, if you think Jigsaw's the good guy, there's something wrong with you. Yeah. But he's very clearly...
But that's Boondock Saints, too. And people do think Boondock Saints, Norman Reedus is the good guy. Like, or they do think Kevin Spacey in Seven is the good guy. Or whatever.
No, they don't. No, they think about what they're saying. Right, but when you think about it long enough, that... Yeah, no, of course it's crazy. Think about... That's not how you get... change.
Don't think about their madness. Think about my madness.
All right. Well, I really like Saw. It's not S tier. I totally understand it. But let's check the next one.
Let's check it.
Let's check it.
Let's check in.
Let's keep going. Yeah.
Punisher, yes. Liberty. Okay. I'll let you start this one off because this, I think, is your favorite probably.
It's a toss-up between this and Saw. I probably Saw is my favorite because I've stuck with it.
These rankings are not going to go well.
But I love Chucky. Chucky's my favorite 80s horror franchise. Like, it originated from the 80s. I love Chucky. I think he's funny. I think he's, like, a very cute little character. Mm-hmm. I love all his nasty little isms.
I love Brad Dourif.
Yeah. You guys love Brad Dourif. Lord of the Rings, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Brad Dourif's great.
He's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He's in a lot more than you think.
Yeah. He's like randomly shows up in like Academy Award winning movies.
Deadwood. He was in Deadwood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Chucky. I think the franchise does a decent job up until Seed of Chucky. Seed of Chucky is about his baby, and it's uncomfortable.
Seed of Chucky is
very
not great.
uncomfortable. And then they have it's very meta. Like they have Jennifer Tilly playing the Tiffany doll in a movie in Seed of Chucky, and I'm like, I hate this stuff. I hate when they do stuff like that. Like, why couldn't you just come up with an idea? Why do you have to make a movie about making a movie? So yeah. Anyway,
I like these movies. I like how much you like these movies.
Like they're fun because he's fun. He's such a little jerk.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiffany gets introduced, and she is so much better than Chucky. And so it's the two of them, and they're so cute together. I like after the Seed of Chucky is
Bride of Chucky's funny for that reason, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it has the best soundtrack.
Yeah,
yeah, it's like my gateway drug into little goth girl inklings. No, after that was Cult and something else. I forget. Cult and Curse of Chucky. We had Brad Dourif's daughter playing
Fiona Dorff.
Fiona Dorff is playing the new character who has Chucky's soul inside of her, and I'm like, that's so cool. Like, I love that he finally transfers his soul. Like, he finally gets to do it. And what a fun father-daughter. Anyways, this has nothing to do with Chucky, but there's deeper reasons why I enjoy this franchise. And
it's a good franchise.
He hasn't done anything freaking stupid like going to space or.
Well, he should.
Just the movie one. I think Seed of Chucky was really stupid. And there's a show I'm waiting for it to hit Netflix. It might be there already. I
will say that I also they did a remake. As Soups was saying earlier, I think it was peak sterile.
It was very sterile.
Very sterile.
Yeah.
But it was pretty good. It would have been good if it was its own new thing. But then they did the Megan movie, and I'm like, why are we doing all these weird robot doll movies now? Megan is
already been done. I get annoyed when people reuse.
Megan is what is brought back. I mean, essentially that was Chucky, right? When the Chucky reboot came out, and it was very sterile. Megan came out and was like, this is actually what Chucky was supposed to be, right?
The Megan movie. I'm like, what did I do?
No, sorry, the movie. Not actually.
I was trying to figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jennifer Tilly plays poker. Yeah, she's an actress. She was also in Liar Liar.
Now,
it's so funny, the ones that I forgot, and then I was like, oh yeah, Human Centipede, I gotta add this one.
Now, did we see
Wild. We saw the first one.
We saw the first one. Did we see any of the second one?
No. But I read about them, and I was like, I'm not watching these. So that'll tell you where I'm putting this one. But the first one wasn't bad. The first, it was disgusting.
It's rough.
The idea is horrible. Yeah. It took me a while to be like, okay, I can do this. The first time we put it on, we were with a friend, and he was a little drunk, and I was like, okay. We put it on, we have it ready, and I'm nervous about it. I'm like, do I want to see this? And he's sitting there like this with his head in his hands. And he's like, I can't do this right now. And I was like, thank you. I don't want to do this either.
The scene that prompted it was right at the beginning of the movie, the guy's sitting there.
He's just sitting
and
there.
He just stupid Jigsaw's drawing. He had a drawing of a
dog and
some dogs dog centipede.
Which I'm okay with, of course.
And our friend was like, I can't do this right now.
We're like, okay, good.
all right.
But we finally watched it. It's actually pretty thoughtful, really as far as a horror movie goes.
Quite well done. Well done.
The way they told the story, the way they shot it,
the cinematography,
the script, the act. It was pretty good.
You'll be in for a shock if you manage to bring yourself to watch it.
Horrifying. It is disgusting. I hate it. Yep. But I was like, this is cool. It got to me. It made me grossed out, and I like that. I enjoy that kind of feeling when I'm watching horror. I want to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, nobody has anything.
I know. Everyone's like, get this away from us. Okay, the sequels though. The sequels were these goofy meta sequels where it's oh, I saw the Human Centipede and now I want to do it. The third one takes place in a jail.
That is worth pointing out to our viewers.
All right. I'm not into this franchise.
We should point out to our viewers that if you watch a Human Centipede movie, you will want to Human Centipede people in your town.
No, you won't.
You will.
I don't. You know, it crosses my mind a lot. Like after we've eaten like large meals and stuff, I'm like, oh God, like, can you imagine? It just like, yeah, I'm not into it. Yeah, Human Centipede. I love that episode. All right, this one's gross.
All right,
last one.
Last one.
There we go.
Okay.
The one I was getting confused about earlier. So this has the spin-offs of Annabelle and The Nun. So that's all part of the same universe, which is cool. Because it makes sense. Like, this is based on, like, real people. I don't believe in this stuff, so I'll just say a real story about these people.
They're real people.
Who did
real stories.
Who did, like, exorcisms and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that there'd be spin-offs because they did exorcisms all over the place. Like, so I like that. Like, it has a built-in, like, diversity within the way it can tell stories. It does get a little explainy, I think, in some of the later ones, right? Am I thinking? I think I might be mixing up some stuff. Does this have the?
There's a lot of.
Now I'm confusing this one with Insidious, so ignore me.
Because of Patrick Wilson.
Because of the old lady at the end of Insidious, there's an episode. That focuses on her, and she gets very explainy. And it's annoying. Right. This one, yeah. I mean, I thought it was a cool exorcism scene, from what I can remember. These
for me. I'm going to start off saying the thing that is exactly a problem I'm saying with modern horror movies, which is that they're a little sterile. But I also think they're like a benchmark of, you sit down, you watch a horror movie, and you go, oh, that was actually like an okay movie. Every time I watch a Conjuring movie, I'm like, oh, okay. Like
it's done well.
It's done well.
Yeah.
You gotta love Patrick Wilson.
Of course.
So you're like, you watch the movie and you're like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like, it's fine. Like, it scared me a little bit, but more so I would say they dial up a lot of the negative, like the scary, suspenseful, those emotions. They like put them up to like 6 for you.
Yeah.
They turn a lot of things
up. That's a good,
And because you're kind of like, I think this is a drama. These movies are almost dramas that are a little freaky. That's the way to think about these. Not really horror movies.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember other call-outs about this series. But it's not like my favorite. It's fine. Like, it's good enough.
All right, listen. Here's what we're going to do right now, folks.
I'm going to watch it next year.
Thing number 1, we're going to close the poll.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to chat
I totally
the poll
forgot
quickly.
About it.
Quickly.
Like, super. I mean, we did earlier. We don't have to chat about it anymore.
Well, we'll talk about what won.
Okay.
Which was pumpkin spice latte
pumpkin
1.
Spice. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, pumpkin spice flavor stuff is good. Like, let's talk about it for 1 second. It's cinnamony. It's nutmeggy. It doesn't taste like pumpkin at all. Actual pumpkin tastes gross.
It's kind of dumb, yeah.
It's very dumb.
Yeah. We're caught up on Super Chats.
We did this. So we have to rank these now, because then we've got to do fan stuff, and this show's going to be over. So we have to do this. I'm just trying to find... Oh, yeah, I do love Jennifer Tilly.
She's hot.
She's great.
Very hot, yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Let's rank. You ready to rank?
Oh, yeah, Sinister wasn't on our list. You're right.
There's a couple.
I forgot Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, and Paranormal Activity, first one is, in my opinion...
Oh, it keeps me up.
I would say, of all of these, best horror movie, not best movie, because Silence of the Lambs, I think, is the actual best movie that we saw here. But as far as horror movie goes, Paranormal Activity for me is S-tier horror, up there with Hereditary and Blair Witch.
Blair Witch still gets me. Yeah.
For me, it's like
that's a franchise too. I could have thrown on here.
That one also falls hard.
It falls hard, yeah.
I would say Hereditary, Blair Witch, Paranormal Activity. Midsommar is a tear down.
Isn't scary the same way.
It drops from Hereditary, and then what's the other one?
I
forget. For me, probably The Grudge, but The Grudge is, I think, a 1 tier down.
It's not a true franchise.
The Ring too. No, they're not. I'm not saying a franchise. I'm saying actual like horror.
Oh,
movie,
sure. All right. Well. Yeah,
okay, we
VHS.
ready?
I vaguely I dipped my toe into VHS, and I remember I liked it, but it didn't stick with me. Mm-hmm. I need to watch the rest.
Okay, back to now discussing the rankings.
Well,
So now this is the part of the show where we now discuss the rankings.
well, we did discuss them. Now we're
Now we
ranking
rank
the
'em.
rankings. Yeah.
Okay, look, Chucky's first. What do you want to... and here's the system we're going to do. We're going to come up with a number, and then we're going to put in the average.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I love Chucky. I'm putting him in A tier.
Okay, that's great. I was going to put him in B tier.
And I think-
sorry. I was actually probably going to put him in A tier. I thought you were
The
going to...
original is pretty good, too.
I thought you were
Pretty
going to...
solid.
I thought you were going to do S, so he's absolutely
No,
an A.
I know better.
Yeah.
I know better than that.
It's A tier for sure. I think so. The original's good. Again, I think the reboot was kind of cool. I appreciate the different take.
Look at Polly. What a butthead.
Yeah. Okay. Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. Oh, I think Evil Dead is A tier.
Okay, I was gonna say C.
Okay, so put it in B.
So I think B. It's a little too. I don't know. It's a little too goofy. I don't love like the main villain is a camera angle, is a camera trick of like zooming around.
I just think it's a good franchise because it kind of stays true to itself.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets campier, but it stays like pretty original and it stays
The remake,
what it is.
The remake did a very good job of like staying true to the original, having a little camp, being kind of scary. The remake was quite good. They did a good job with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. We have Silence of the Lambs next.
I'm honestly, so it's a great movie. The first one, I mean, the whole actually
Hannibal.
Red Dragon is great. Hannibal is great. I haven't seen the show. Okay, but I don't think it's a horror franchise. I think it's.
Why
I
did you
think
put it on here?
because the first one's horror, but it's important for discussion.
Yeah. The first one is, in my opinion, also not horror.
Well, it's horror psychological thriller. That's John Hammond reminded me. Yeah, it's iffy. So I would put it in D tier.
Oh, what?
It's not horror.
Then we'll just Dobby it, I guess, and not
It's
rank
not
it.
enough horror. What would you put it at?
It's the best franchise here.
Yeah, but is it the best horror franchise
No,
here?
then why did you put it?
So we could argue about it.
Okay.
Hello. You're like, why would you do this to me?
I don't understand what we would
I
do
just
now.
really like blowing your mind.
This is sort of like it's like the
like
golden.
we're gonna talk about this.
It's
after
like the
show.
golden. It's like David Wallace in the Golden Ticket episode of
Listen.
The Office. I'm like, I'm leaving.
Just put it somewhere. Where do you want it?
I don't know what to do with this information.
All right, let's move on then.
We'll leave it. We'll Dobby it, I guess.
I guess.
It gets the same fate as Dobby of all things.
What? No. Oh
It
my
doesn't
God.
even get ranked.
You're not even. Why don't you rank it?
We're Dobby.
You haven't given it your ranking.
It doesn't get. Yeah, it doesn't get a rank. It's Dobby. My ranking's S.
Okay, so it goes in B.
That makes no sense. It's better than. It makes. Yeah,
Let's
Soups
put it
is-
in B.
Okay,
Who cares what Soup's
Moving
thinking?
on.
This is our show.
moving on. Halloween.
Okay. Man, John Carpenter kind of falls off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. B. I'd put in B.
I was gonna say C.
I'll Rochambeau you for it.
Oh, she learned.
B.
She learned that you always throw scissors first, so she threw rock first. Created a monster. Okay, Saw. What about the Saw movies?
I would put it in C.
C. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
fine.
think C is
I'm fine
fair
with this in
for
C.
it.
I do enjoy.
I mean, I know
figuring out every time there's a new Saw movie. I love figuring out how.
Yeah. How does Soups? Why?
Yeah, Soups. Yes. If Anchorman was
But there's no element of horror in Anchorman. There is an element of horror in Silence of the Lambs, and we needed some controversy. Oops, I'm not supposed to hit the table.
You're not.
I always hit the table, and then it sounds bad for you
I
guys.
spilled a bunch of honey on my knee this morning. It was sticky crap.
Why are you so sticky?
And I smelled it. I was just touching it on stream.
Are you sure it's honey?
I smelled it. It's honey.
Why? What were you doing?
I put honey in my coffee sometimes.
Okay.
I was like a bear. I just went in and had a bunch of honey, like poo.
That's not horror soup. You guys, and like a dog getting killed does not make something a horror movie. I'm sorry.
Insidious.
Yeah, B,
Yeah.
C. One of those. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Human Centipede.
Let's give that D.
Okay.
It falls off the rails and
The
it's
original's-
like gross.
Listen, I will say...
The original's good.
I will say...
But I don't want to watch it ever again.
Dog killing is a slice of life for me. I will say this. If you've got a good friend like that you don't see very often, you guys like to watch movies together, even your partner or whatever.
These guys are hanging out with us. You know they don't have friends.
and you want to just like, all right, let's do it. Kind of a vibe. Watch Human Centipede because you won't be disappointed. It is good.
If you're into that,
You won't
thing.
be like, that's so stupid. You'll be like, oh my.
It's done pretty well.
You'll be like, ouch. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next we have
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
Oh no, sorry, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
I'm just
C.
repeating what you say.
C. Yeah, I'm like, it's fine. It's not my thing. Freddy is not that. He's iconic, but he's not profound.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of lame.
Okay.
Night of the Living Dead. Okay, cool historical milestone marker in our lives. Did the light show up on screen? Yeah. That's what it looks like when the window isn't like blocked out. Okay. It's still kind of doing it. I hate it. Where are we putting this? I'd put it in B.
Okay.
Yeah. Same with Conjuring. I'd probably put it in B. What do you think? Oh, you're putting it in a D. What's going on here?
Nothing.
Okay. The Purge. I guess it could get A tier.
Yeah.
It's okay. You know, it's a little too on the nose sometimes with its messaging. Like the political one was very annoying.
What I love about The Purge
Yeah.
is that stupid explainy thing is done in a very, it's like done one and done.
Yeah.
Here's the world, done.
Like it's pretty easy.
We don't have to explain and go fight like a Peter Steele demon in the ether world. Like, it is what it is. It's one and done.
Yeah.
And like, then the other thing it does, is it.
No, I think that's Saw.
it is kept into a small. It's framed. Every
Don't
movie.
forget Red Hot Chili Peppers. Throw them in there too.
Every movie is so framed.
Yeah. Sorry.
You can't really go off the rails on these movies.
That's fair, but that's kind of why I'm like, they're fine. Like,
yeah.
They're scary. Like, it's scary following the characters.
When I was teaching music composition a lot, one of the things I would do.
It's also a little bit Mary Sue.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
One of the things I would do is my first assignments to kids would be like, you could only use a few notes and a few like pre-prescribed rhythms, and I want you to write like a 12-measure melody.
Yeah.
And we would learn about like what art people do. Is they're like, okay, I'm about to paint. Here's the canvas. Like limitation number 1, canvas. Then like, what am I gonna do? What kind of tools? Like you set limits for yourself, right? I think The Purge is a really good example of that. There's like, everything is framed and there's a limit and it's all just set, and that's it, right? You can't do much else.
Yeah.
So I kind of appreciate that about it. Jason. I'm gonna say
C or
C
D.
Or D.
Yeah, I'm not like,
Honestly,
I don't think that's fine. So Slam Sector, we're talking about the whole franchise, just so we're clear, not the movie itself. All right. You gotta put Silence of the Lambs somewhere.
Listen.
It's horror. It's just like weak horror.
Then I'm putting it S tier.
It's weak.
If it shows up on this thing, it's S tier.
That's insane. We're supposed to average out, so put it in B.
No, it doesn't make sense in B. It makes more sense in D, honestly. But then, like, can you imagine, like...
I ruined everything.
Silence of the Lambs, there's Human Centipede, there's Jason. Like, it doesn't... None of this makes sense.
I think it makes it funnier.
I don't know why it's here.
Let's move on. All right, Silence of the Lambs doesn't count.
It's Dobby. And now it's in the same category as Dobby. We didn't rank Dobby as a sign of disrespect.
We'll do thriller franchises and it'll get S tier. How about that?
Eventually, what I think we should do is S tier rank everything we didn't tier previously. So now it's Dobby and Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
We'll have an ongoing list And we'll eventually,
We'll
at the
just
end of the
rank
year,
them.
at the end of the year, we'll rank all the things we didn't rank.
Yes, Tactile Sun gets me. Okay.
All right.
We are
Boom.
in fan stuff mode.
Boom, Brad.
Yeah, this is Brad's. You're gonna see it soon.
This is our Brad. This
On
is
the
Brad.
tabletop.
This is Brad. This is what Brad now looks like. He's been gone for a while. He's become a bloodthirster.
Recluse. Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful. I'm
This
excited for you guys to see it.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it. Look at the flames on the bottom. That's nice.
Brad has been working on a
such a
corn
good
army,
painter.
which means if you're a fan of Blades of Corn, get excited because they will start showing up on the channel.
Yay!
Brad's army is almost finished, and he's very excited for it. I would have to say, would you have thought Brad a corn guy?
No.
No. Every time Brad plays Sylvaneth,
He's
it just
so
feels...
sweet and like calm and chill.
And he's like a naturey
Yeah.
like, granola guy.
He seems like he should be Sylvaneth.
Which is
And
mostly
maybe
what
Rats.
which is the two he plays. And even Rats
Yeah.
is a stretch.
Right.
Yeah. So we're going to see a very different Brad. He's going to come dressed like...
Man, in a little devil suit. How cute would that be?
I was going to say dressed like a boondock saint,
Oh,
but
okay.
I think actually better is a little devil suit.
Yeah. All right. What's next? I think it's Umi. Okay. So I don't usually go into work in progress because I feel like I don't, like you, Zach, I don't like showing off my work when it's not done. And
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, don't look at that. It's not finished. It's part of the process. But I love this, and it's very topical. But I love that he was like, this needs more wings, and then he did it. Like, he gave it so many wings.
Yeah, prosecutor wins.
8 wings.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Umi, I applaud you. I can't wait to see this when you're done painting it.
Biblically
And you're right.
accurate Tornus.
This is how it, well, it should be covered in eyes then, but I cannot wait to see how this comes out. And I'm glad you went with what you wanted. It's super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know.
This is sort of what I imagine the Celestin Prime looking like, honestly.
Yeah. All right. Rudy.
Rudy.
We know this guy.
Yeah, he's doing his Tyranids.
Yeah, it was cool to see some non-terrain. It's cool to see some models he was painting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rudy has a bunch of Tyranid terrain, too, that he did forever ago.
Yeah. I like this style he's given the carapace, too.
Yeah, I like the brain
Simple.
the brain work. Good brain work.
Yeah.
Yeah, orange brains. Good
Yeah.
complimenting his brain work.
Yes.
Very nice work, Rudy. Who is this? Is this Jolly Roger?
I forget.
No. This is Brass.
Brass.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Brass.
This is cool.
These are Stormcast?
No.
No? Wait.
These
No,
are-
that's not Stormcast. Look at that gun. What
No.
am I talking
This
about?
is a. I believe this to be a Black Templar
Thanks. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. What a dope.
from the Warhammer 40,000
40,000.
universe.
Super cool. I like how the red pops against the black. It's a
Yeah.
chaplain. Yeah. Thank you for the hearts, guys. Thanks for celebrating each other's work. It's very sweet. Filippo likes orange and blue just like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he
Cool.
just
Cool
start?
blue
Did he
eyes.
just start Skaven? He's been doing hasn't he been doing something else? I can't remember. I know he did Lumineth, and he's done Seraphon. So I guess he's doing some rats now. Yeah.
Doing rats. I like the blue eyes. You don't see blue glowing as much.
Yeah, the verdigris is quite
Especially on
strong
rats.
as well.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks very targeted in
Yeah. I love the color choices.
This is Zacharias.
Yes.
Yeah, he paints very vividly. I like
know.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the shadows are nice here. It looks like he used like some purplish. It's like a nice, not just going straight to black for your shadows.
Yeah.
Always adds a little bit more. Look at, a really nice blue OSL happening. Oh, and that shoulder pad thing. What do you call it? Not a shoulder pad.
I know what
the,
you're talking about. I don't know what it's called. The little
like
shield.
this little
thing.
plate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Armor for his
Yes,
armor.
yes. More blood angels. Everyone's getting in on it.
If you shoot that plate, you have to go through like 3 layers of armor. But if you shoot
Yeah.
like 4 inches to the right and up, you
Get
can
his
just hit. You
freaking
can just shoot him
forehead.
in the head.
Tilting shield. Okay. Very cool.
It tilts the bullet into the bare head.
Yep.
Okay,
Tactile Sun.
this is Tactile Sun. This
Yeah.
is a Canite
It was-
Shadow Stalker. I know this kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty blue.
Pretty blue.
I always like his photos.
It's a thematic.
Nice and creepy.
It
nice
is creepy.
light source on it as well from the front, right? The front of this cloak is very bright compared to the rest. Yeah, it's looking
It's
good.
a good, it's a good highlighting, right? And it matches the actual like light
What
photography.
is this little thing in the middle?
Oh, it's a hole.
I mean,
And I think it's peeking into something underneath, but I'm not sure what that is
Yeah.
actually.
cool.
I think it caught like something metal underneath.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, these are fun.
These are great. The
Blue skinned dwarves.
Yeah, I love the armor, honestly. I love the color that Zelton went
Yeah.
with for the armor here.
I think the skin color is fun. Like, I think it's fun to just like do weird stuff that other people aren't doing.
Yeah.
Makes it stand out, yeah. And then the blue pops everywhere else. Like, it's kind of interesting. Like, maybe these guys are Smurfs, and they were like, well, we want orange armor so that our faces will pop. Then we want to have, like, pops of our skin color all over our suits, too. I don't know why, but it looks badass.
It's I super into the armor. Like, really love the color. Love the camo with the bases. Really
Pretty,
cool.
yeah. They blend in so well to the environment, yeah. There we go.
And this is Jolly
That's
Roger.
Jolly Roger,
Very,
yeah. Look at all
also
that
super
trim.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh my
Also, really cool bases that they've been doing. I've been noticing this. Look at the black helmet, the glowing red eyes.
I know. It's really nice.
It's very cool because Corrin, you're really on the hook for a lot of red. And then they wanted to have red glowing eyes. So they got around red on red by like having this like focal point of this like black helmet.
Yeah, but it's also the yellow, like the very brightest parts are yellow, so they pop. Look, there's a lot of weathering going on. It's like very, what's the word? Distressed and textured.
A lot
of texture going on.
battle
this
damage.
Flat,
A lot of
flat
battle
surface.
damage. Yeah, like
yeah,
Nixon. He's been in a lot of battles.
Yeah.
Super cool.
very cool.
Meg, listen, before we head out today, there's a number of advertisements we want to do. And I'm going to let you push the buttons here because I don't know which ones are which.
You don't know which is which. Oh my gosh. Well, number one, yeah, the cactus are cute. Number one, oh, that's not
There
right.
he is.
That's not happening. I think we forgot to set it up, Zach. Let's get it. So this happened last, 2 Fridays ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun. We are going to have another Mandrill segment coming up.
Actually, real quick though, so that
more
wasn't
importantly,
so that wasn't total insanity. Is the
workshop.
Pat class up? Did we put it up yet?
I'm not sure.
Mandrills?
Ted has edited it. He's editing it, and I'm not sure if he's put it up yet. I haven't seen it, so I don't think it's up yet. It will be.
Well, this we're excited about.
Yeah, this is coming up on Wednesday.
10:30, not 11:30.
Did I put 11? Oh my God, Meg.
This is coming up this Thursday.
Turn this off. This is a mess.
October 30th.
October 30th.
October 30th. Sorry. This is
I'm annoyed at myself.
October 30th.
Yeah.
This upcoming Wednesday. Tell us what we
Well,
did.
it's you and me and Dan, who's in our server. He owns Bear Cavalry Paints. He sent us a free set, and I am committing to painting my Lumineth with
free sets.
2 free sets. Well, he sent us a free set and a set to give away,
Oh,
which
right.
we're going to do Wednesday. So if you want to try out some new paint, it's like an eco-friendly line. We're going to hear all about it, how it's made, what's special about it. If you'd like to give it a try, then join us on Wednesday for a giveaway. You have to be there for the giveaway.
It's nice.
You don't get to enter afterwards. You have to be there.
Dan's a great guy. And it is responsibly sourced, all et cetera, which is really something we think is cool. You'd be surprised how much of everyday stuff that you use and consume just has a little bit of light slavery involved in its production process. And Dan's paint doesn't do that. So we're excited for that. No light slavery.
Oh my God.
Okay, what else? We want to talk about Blood Bowl.
Yeah, we have one more game of Blood Bowl in our...
Because the Bear Cavalry paints.
Bear Cavalry, yeah. Did we actually set this up?
That's
I'm afraid
presidency.
to
Here
touch.
we go. Ready?
I'm afraid to touch anything. Ugh. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we have one more game in our playoff before the championship, and that is KK and Michael Dunsmore. Yeah.
Yeah, down at the bottom there.
They're very fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
It's going to be goofy. Yeah, the two of them together are a funny pairing.
And the winner of this matchup will play
Bryce. Yeah,
who is in the championship with the erectile dysfunction,
No.
formerly known erectile dysfunction.
What we like to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Bryce.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's next Sunday. Next Sunday after our hobby stream. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, I think we did it, right?
We did it. A quick mention. I don't see a ton of great names in here today. I see a lot of people we know, which is actually what we really love, although we do love new people.
Yeah.
We love all the different types of people that will one day eventually give us money.
Oh my God.
If we're honest.
Guys, we're going to go try out the Wendy's Krabby Patty.
Yes!
And we'll be back in Hobby Hang in our Discord. So if you're hanging out, not much else to do, join us. Before Hobby Hang, we're actually going to be planning our trip to the UK, which is happening in April.
Yep.
So we'll be doing that first. Yeah.
I just want to mention, if you are new and you're watching and you're like, hey, this is somehow I'm okay with everything I just saw in the past 2 hours, join our Discord.
you.
And in our Discord, there are rules in one of the segments and for our hobby challenge.
Yeah.
But if you're unfamiliar with that, watch a previous stream and because we're out of time here today, but we will talk about it.
Yeah, we
in
got
the
time.
future
We
stream
got
as well.
time. Paint something spooky.
Yeah.
We'll tell you why. Or you can find it in our Discord.
They might be out of luck for October.
No.
Yeah.
Wednesday is
Oh yeah, you got a few days.
We got one more day to remind everybody, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to take us out, Meg?
I'll take us out. Thank you, Mandrills. On top of everyone else being here, thank you for that extra support.
Yep.
And we will hopefully see you in the Discord soon today. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, and always be creating.
Bye folks.
Bye.